Yes, guys, welcome back to We Are Tottenham TV with your boy Dave, Jacob, Dermatron, and Ashmatic as we bring you your pre-match build-up as we take on Wolves today. A massive game. Need to take advantage of being at home and putting 3 points on the board, Jacob, right?
Oh, absolutely. Good morning, everyone from El Paso, Texas. Not quite sunny, but it will be in just an hour or so. But good morning to you, Dave. Good morning, Ash, Dermatron. What a little party we have. Last week it was just Dave and I, but how blessed are we to be so fortunate to have Ash and Dermot. Ash, how you doing this morning?
My brothers, I'm good. Good to see you guys back in the building, fresh, ready to go. Looking forward to this chat with these lovely gentlemen. Big up Irish, big up Dermatron, and yourself, Jacob. Big up to the chat as well every time. And people watching at home, man. Come on, you Spurs. Let's get it on.
I can't wait, Ash. I cannot wait, my man. And Sean, how are you keeping, sir?
Yeah, last week at White Hart Lane, this week in the second best place in the world. We are Tottenham TV. So big up to you, Ash and Jacob, and you and everyone in the chat as well. Looking forward to today. Come on, you Spurs. We can do it. 3 wins in a row. Come on.
Oh, I can't wait. I hope so. You know, I think we've actually got the second best home record this season outside of Liverpool. So chalk up another win today. I think that might equal it. So, you know, we got to keep taking advantage of the home games, you know, and that's a good omen to get into next season where we should be hopefully challenging. But look, the way we're going to do this today is we're going to go around, get everyone's sort of thoughts for 10, 15 minutes. And then I'm going to go into what they want to see with some of the injuries in the number 6 and stuff like that. And then Jacob will take you from the lineup onwards throughout the rest of the show. So please, guys, make sure you do smash a like here for the We Are Tottenham TV boys, for your boys Ben and Sim. Also, make sure you smash the subscribe button for them if they are new. And feel free to agree, disagree with us in the comment section or that. But why not make it a super chat and show the We Are Tottenham TV boys some love? But look, Jacob, I'll start with you, my man. I mean, what's your thoughts heading into today's game? You nervous? You excited? I mean, the level of performances have been up and down.
They have been up and down, Dave, but for me, I'm still excited. I still feel as though there's no excuses. I understand we got 2 excuses that popped up yesterday, this week during the open training. No Pedro Porro, no Destiny Udogie. That's going to be massively missed. But even with them, we were still going to concede chances on the counter to the likes of Neto, Hwang Hee-chan. So this is a formidable side. Wolves, don't forget, about a week before the season started, they sacked Lopetegui, whatever his name is. They sacked that guy. I had low expectations for them, and they're right there in the middle of the pack. That was a pun definitely intended, but I really think that we're going to have to be strong in the midfield. I think midfield and our back line last time we played Wolves were very susceptible to errors, and we're already open to space. The system lends itself to being open to space and allowing typically the left winger of our opponents and the strikers, they find a lot of joy in those areas. So my initial thoughts are whoever it is, if it's Emerson Royale at right back, or if it's, I mean, what are we really thinking? It's going to have to be Ben Davies at left back, right? You can't move Mickey Van de Veen out there left because he's that last line, our shore up of the. He cleans up for the defense. So honestly, I'm really curious to see how this lineup is going to how it's going to come out, because honestly, I think it's going to answer a lot of questions. I expect Ainge to do what we all expect him to do, and that's just Ben Davies at the left back, Emerson Royale at the right back, and we just see what we could do. So I'm a little worried in that sense, but in all other aspects of the match, we have our ideal midfield, we have our ideal front 3, whatever you want to say. I mean, there's different renditions, right? Timo Werner in, Sonny through the middle, etc. But it's the same thing with the midfield. But for me, our strongest 11, we were about to have that. Now we have our strongest 9. Still no excuse. I think we should go out there and get the 3 points.
I agree with you. I don't think, we can't use that as an excuse. We've got our best midfield, got our best forward players available to us, and that's what I want to see us maybe focus on in this game. I'll get onto the defense in a minute. I sort of agree with you on the Van de Ven, although I don't want to see Ben Davies at left back. But look, we'll go down to Ash. Ash, how are you feeling heading into this game after the news that we got Thursday when we watched the open training? There was no Porro, no Udogie. Do you think that's going to have an effect on the outcome?
I thought last time we missed Udogie, and I thought, yes, finally we're going to have Udogie, so that's going to be slightly different. And then now we don't have your doggy. I'm like, oh, I think the whole fan base did that. Like, you know, when you see the crowd just do that, bang, 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 that meme, like that's exactly what I felt when I saw that game. Yeah, Ben Davies, when he was at Crystal Palace, he played that kind of inverted role and kind of went missing, in my opinion. Defensively, no problems. But I don't think he offers what you get from your doggy on that kind of inverted role in terms of like bringing that ball, dribbling with it, taking it from like one of the other players, being
Is
high.
that because you think he can't? Is that because he can do it, or do you think that's instructions by the manager, Ash?
I just feel like every player has different characteristics, and you know your strengths, you know your weaknesses. It is what it is. Like, we know in the summer we're going to probably strengthen that area. I think that might be one of our priorities once we put our hands in our pockets. So Ben Davies is really good. I think now Ange's looked at him as more of a centre back. And so I think that's where the debate was. We've bought a centre back in Dragusin. Could maybe put a Dragusin as a left-sided centre back because he has played there for the team in Serie A. Escapes my name right now. He did play that. Genoa. So yeah, he did play there for. He did play that position for Genoa, also right back as well. But maybe Van der Ven as well. He played as a left back at Werder Bremen. So there was that debate where, you know, maybe we put him there instead because Van der Ven's quite good on the ball and he's really quick. And I do remember, I can't remember what game it was, but your doggy, one point, he was bailing out Ben Davies and he was being the man to kind of clean up. So even if Ben Davies was at left-sided centre-back, then you'd have...
there was like 3 matches there, Ash.
Was it 3 matches?
We were here. I think it was about 3 matches where Udogie was doing what you're talking about for Ben Davies, where he was still coming back and being that last line man.
That's it. So my argument is Van der Ven could possibly do that. However, I agree with you, Jacob. I don't think we're going to change it. I think Van der Ven will all remain as a centre back, and we'll have Ben Davies probably at left back, and would have Porro right back. But yeah, am I worried going into this game? I was worried before the actual injuries appeared because I just thought out of every game we've played, that was our worst game. But the reason why it was our worst game is because we had the 3 midfielders in Pape Sarr playing the Madison role, Højbjerg being the 6, and then I think on the right-hand side it was Basuma. I think it was, or Basuma was the 6 and Højbjerg was the right-sided centre mid, and Sarr was playing the Madison role, and it just wasn't working for whatever reason. Like in terms of us causing them problems, I think they caused us a lot more problems, and I think centrally they were just like more dominant. They were winning balls back, and I feel like their wing backs were a lot more effective than our inverted fullbacks, if that makes sense. And I think they targeted that, they knew that, and Gary O'Neill, to be fair, I think he's done a great job, by the way, at Wolves. I think he caused trouble for Man City. They got 3 points there. They got 3 points against Chelsea. Obviously, we spoke about that already, and that was an away win as well. And they gave Brighton some problems as well. So they're no pushover. That was the one team I was thinking, Wolves, like if there's going to be a slip up, there could be like a mini slip up here. Would that impact the whole of our season? No, I don't think it would. But that was my honest feeling into it. But on a positive note, on a positive spin, we are a different beast at home, in my opinion. And also having Madison back in that position, I think that's what we were missing massively last time in the last game. I know Lascelles came on in the second half, and we did look a little bit more positive when Lascelles came on, and Bentancur came on as well. I thought those two helped our midfield tick over, and we had a lot more possession, but they sucker punched us at the end with a Sarina, with Lamina. I thought Lamina was exceptional in that game as well. Lamina, I like midfielder.
He scored that game, didn't he?
He scored in that game. Him and Sariba. Sariba got the first goal, but Lamina was involved, and then he got the second goal. But I just thought in that second half we got more control, and that's because we had our midfield back in the right position. So I'm hoping in this game more of the same, but this time we take advantage. And I thought Johnson was on our left-hand side. This time Song will be on our left-hand side. We'll have Richie up top, and we'll have that presence in the box. So it'll be slightly different to what we had last time. And then I expect to be on the right, holding that ball up, helping our transitions to push up the pitch.
No, look, I completely agree with that, and I do. Hopefully, that midfield and that forward line is the difference maker today. Last time we were 1-0 up and we didn't end up holding it out. So warning signs from there. You got to go and kill the game when we're on top today. Completely agree with that. Dermotron, what's your thoughts heading into today's game, my man?
Look, I'm going to go with Radu on that fullback. I think he'll start with him and start with Van der Ven in the middle. And I think for me, Ben Davies, you don't start Ben Davies. He's the weakest link out of all the weak links. So for me, I put Radu there. I think he will come out, and I think this is the ideal game for him. Look, it's a game that we have to come out. We have to hit the game running. We have to start with the same intensity that we mean to go on. Wolves are not an easy team to play against. We haven't got a good record against them. Last 5 Premier League games, Tottenham 3 wins, Wolves 2 wins. There hasn't been a draw in the last 5 games, and you're guaranteed today's going to be a draw now. It probably end up being 0-0, knowing our luck. But I think you start with Radu, and you put Emerson on the other wing, and you put Romero and Van der Ven in the middle. But I think it's a game we have to be in. We have to start off with the right intensity, Dave. We have to start off with the right attitude. Go out there and just say, right, we're going to show you how to play. We're at home. We've got the crowd behind us. Let's get on with this. Let's crack on. And I think it's the way to do it. And I think it's the only way to do it. But please, for the love of God, please do not play Ben Davies. We do not want to see Dave throw his hat on the ground and say, I've had enough, and storm off because Ben Davies has made a cock up.
Do you know what? Look, that's just my personal preference. I think when I've seen Ben Davies at left back this season, Crystal Palace, Van der Ven spent the night covering for him. Fulham in the Carabao Cup, Van der Ven spent the night covering for him. He does not have the legs to play that position anymore. Last week he came off the bench. He was dribbled by, and I don't think he won any of his ground duels either. He doesn't have the legs.
Gave the ball away in that position too.
Can I just say, Dave? Last week we were down where we were. He was woeful.
Look, his days at left back are numbered. So back to what Ash said, you see him more as a left-sided centre back. But Wolves, you look at the way the team set up against us the first 10 games. When we lost our better players and we had to rely on the likes of Davies and Emerson and people like that, the opposition changed the way they played against us. They start to press us high now, press us up the pitch, look to get joy. And his best attribute is putting his body on the line, not progressing that ball. Last week against Brighton, we didn't get off to a good start the way we usually do, where we keep teams penned back in their half for the first 5-10 minutes and they struggle to get out. We have to get back to that today. And for me, when I look across the back line, with Romero, very good at passing the ball out. I'd argue one of the best progressors of the ball at centre-back in the Premier League, if not the best. Van der Ven can run that ball, no problem. Adoji was another out option. He could carry that ball straight through midfield, up into the forward line. And Porro had a good pass. When you're bringing in players today, you're not going to have that option that Adoji gives you or Porro gives you. For me, I think I agree with you, Ash, and you, Dermot. I think you have to, and I think it was Jacob as well. You have to keep Van der Ven in the middle. What's Wolves' strengths going to be today? Quick, lightning fast counterattacks in behind. Use Pedro Neto. Use Hwang. You cannot take Van der Ven out because he will cover that up all day long. So for me, you have to keep him and Romero there, no problem. But what I would do personally is Emerson is filled in at left back on a number of occasions this season. I know a lot of people have problems with him technically wise, how good he is on the ball. But defensively, he is absolutely solid and does not put a foot wrong defensively. And I'd put him back out there. And I'd put Dragusin at right back purely because he's played there growing up throughout his career. He started off as a right back. Juventus signed him as a right back before he got moved in at centre back. So for me, that's the back line I would go with, and I think it would be good enough to be able to progress the ball despite Wolves maybe trying to look and press us high. But guys, that brings me on into the next position. The number 6 seems to be the only position for me in the midfield that's up for grabs. Papa Matasar keeps his place. Maddison keeps his place. I want to go around the panel. I want to find out what you expect from that player in the number 6 and who best suits what you're asking for them to do. And we'll start with you on this, Jacob.
I'm going with Yves Bissouma because in the beginning of the season, our midfield 3 was so dynamic, so electric, and I love Ange Postecoglou's response to this. He says, "I hope we're getting away from sixes and eights because this is a guy who can play midfield for me." And I think it's about cohesion and chemistry and understanding of where the others are going to be at different times. And Papa Matasar and Yves Bissouma, the first 9 matches of the season, it was like that's his little brother, and they've played together for years. That kind of understanding of when this person drops deep, and now you can progress the ball, or vice versa, or who covers while he is now in the box. Because Papa Matasar likes to pop up in the box too. Yves Bissouma was popping up into the box, doing cheeky little moves too. I just think that from our tactical perspective, if you're asking me who should play 6, 8, 10, I mean, I think we know who the 10 is, but as far as the sixes and the eights, he's kind of asking everyone to play both. He's kind of asking those 2 other guys to play both, and at times he's even asking Madison to drop back and play that box to box. So to me, I just think I'm going with the known chemistry, and there's known chemistry with Basuma and Papa Matasar when to cover for each other in that midfield. So I'm going with Basuma for that reason. And when you look at our best 11, like the first 9 matches of the season, I was thinking we have the best midfielder in England, maybe even Europe. Top 5 in Europe easily because of the way he was playing, and then he fell off after that simulation card. I'm hoping we can still get that back, that it's not lost. Ainge has spoken about it. He said that Yves is down on himself. He's been disappointed in himself, and he's eager to prove himself because he knows that the derailing of his season has been some of his own doing. 2 red cards, got some of it injuries, and then AFCON, and some of those are circumstantial, some of those are controllable variables. So for me, Yves Bissouma knows what he's done wrong. I think I'm going for chemistry on this one. I need strength and chemistry, and for me, Rodrigo Bentancur, as much as I love him, he hasn't looked like 100% himself. There's moments in the match where he shows that brilliancy, that thing that we all fell in love with Rodrigo, but then there's moments where it shows he looks like he second guessed himself, or he wasn't quick enough there, and it just seems maybe he got rushed back. He rushed himself back from injury a little bit is my concern. But still, I think we're in a good position to be in, where we have midfielders where we're not now like, is it going to be Skip or Højbjerg who starts today? And you kind of know what you're going to get from that. It's more of what's more suited for this opponent. I think Yves Bissouma, Rodrigo Bentancur, I can hear a case for both of them being in the starting lineup. But for me, I'm choosing Yves Bissouma.
Do you know, I think many people will probably agree with you on that today. I think, look, it's no slight against Bentancur, but I think to be expected, he's probably, struggling to get back from the injury to the same level he was at before. And let's not forget, the bar he set before his injury was absolutely sky high. And, that's where we want him to get back to. And I think, you might see that come towards the end of the season. He's just coming back from a long injury layoff. But Ash, where are you at with this? Actually, no, I'm going to ask you a bit of a different question. Me and you had a conversation a long time ago, it seems like now, about Bissouma. I remember I was very frustrated. I thought Bissouma's form had dropped off from where he was at, where he started the season. If he's given that opportunity today, does he get that form back?
I think with Bissouma, when he came on, his energy looked right. I think the cards had there was something mentally going on with Bissouma, because he wasn't doing what he was doing in the first 4 or 5 games. Some people say it'd been figured out. I think it'd been a case of him playing within himself, and we're used to him taking that ball on a half turn, carrying that ball up the pitch, and for whatever reason, he wasn't doing that. Now, for me, it's a thing of decision making, knowing when to do like the short pass, or doing that ball where you're just trying to keep possession, trying to keep the ball ticking over. But then there's times when the space opens up and then you need to attack it. He needs to start scanning the pitch a little bit more for me to know when to do it, because that's his best attribute. Bentancur's slightly different in the mode where he can get that ball and he can pass in between the lines. And that's what you want from a 6. Traditionally, from a 6, you want someone to get on the ball, be able to open up that pitch, switch it, and kind of start the attack that way, or pass in between the defensive line and the midfield line and pick up one of your attacking players to start an attack. Now, Bissouma doesn't do the passing between the lines thing, but what he does do, he can drift into spaces, he can carry the ball, he can be aggressive, he has skill. He's one of those players that on our team that can do the half turn. And that half turn that's what helps our attacks. When you can dribble, you can drop a shoulder, you can do a Cruyff turn in the box. He adds that. And I agree with Jacob in terms of fluidity. It's no longer a 6, it's no longer an 8, it's no longer a 10. It's positional play. That's what we do. It's a bit like what Man City do, where you get the best of both. What you see from a Rodri. A Rodri does a bit of everything. You never just see him in one position. You see him floating around. And it's all about decision making and knowing where your players are. Or if you're playing in that DM role, I step up. So you're talking to Saar. All right, bro. Like if you're going to chill there, I'm going to push into your position and vice versa. And just having that kind of shape, that kind of defensive shape where if we lose the ball, Basuma's there ready to pounce on it and win that ball back and then give it back to the attacking players, if that makes sense. So Basuma, for me, he just needs to be in that right frame of mind and he just needs to visually scan that pitch, look around him, know when to kind of, and that's when you'll make the better decisions. And that's when you'll see, I believe, the best of Basuma. But like I said, hopefully all those yellow card rubbish, all those red cards, that's out of his head. He does have a temperament, not a temperament issue, but a knowing when to do a slide tackle or knowing when to kind of pull a shirt, because sometimes it's tactical, you need that. And then sometimes it's a bit rash and you're like, bro, why did you do that? You didn't even need to do that. Now you're on a yellow card and you're putting yourself on the back foot. You can't do what you naturally do, if that makes sense. For me, Basuma starts in this game just because like it's that chemistry, as we were talking about before. Saar and Basuma, they had it. I want the band back together with Madders, Basuma and Saar. That's how I see it. Once you get those three boys,
are they undefeated as a trio this season?
Have they what?
They're undefeated as a trio this season, aren't they? Basuma and Papa Matsar and Madison.
Yeah, you're correct. I can't remember a game where they've all been on the pitch and they haven't lost. So yeah, bring it home, man. Bring the boys back. Let them cook, bro. Let them make a little Barbie, Aussie style. So
100%.
Yeah, I'm hoping that happens and Saar can continue his goal scoring form, because right now he's getting into the box. And I'm all for it. I'm all for Saar getting goals again, man. So
yeah,
that's how I see it.
No, 100%. I absolutely love Saar. He's my favorite player in the midfield, believe it or not. But the lineups are out. Jacob's going to bring them up on screen, and he is going to go through them with you. But sadly, that ends my time here, guys. I have to go off, get my watch along set up, and away I go to hopefully enjoy the 3 points. But guys, thank you very much out there for listening to me. Thank you to Jacob, Ash, and Dermot. Make sure before the end of the show you get over and show them all the love that they deserve. Really good content creators, and give up their time to do this. So please make sure you show them the love. And if you've any for me, follow me over at the Irish Hotspur. But guys, that's it. Enjoy the rest of the show. To the We Are Tottenham TV and the Spurs fans out there, come on, you Spurs. Let's go. Come on. See you soon.
Big up Irish.
Big up Dave. Big up Dave. There he goes with the Irish Hotspur. And there this arrives. The starting 11. Starting in goal, we've got Vicario in net, Emerson Royale at the right back, Romero Van de Veen, and Ben Davies as our left back. So much to our predictions being, I predicted that he would go with this, to be honest. As much as I didn't want to see Ben Davies start, he is at the left back, then Saar, Basuma, and Madison in the midfield, Kulusevski at the right wing, Richarlison and Son starting. On the bench, Brandon Austin, as you know, Fraser Forster picks up that foot fracture, Radu Dragusin, Oliver Skip, Højbjerg, Bentancur, Lo Celso returns to the bench, Brian Hill, Timo Werner, and Brennan Johnson. I'm going to be honest, the bench sounds a lot better than it has a few times, but Dermot, what's your initial thoughts here of the starting 11?
Look, it's probably what we predicted. If I say anything with that back four, we all didn't want David to start, but look, he's there. So Ange must see something different than to what we see during this week in training. Look, it's a team for me that can win. Apart from Davis, the rest of it, I think that's a team that will beat Wolves. And I'm happy with it. Apart from Davis, I'm actually happy with the rest of the team. I think Royale will do a good job for us. And I think it's great to see Saar, Basuma, and Madison in that midfield road. And I was going to pick Madison, Basuma as my number 6 to start today. So I'm glad to see that. And Sonny starts as well. We've got our Captain Fantastic back. the man that drives the team. And when he came on last week, I was at the game. You can see the crowd lifted. You can see the whole team lifted. You can see everything going up by 10%. So
Yeah, absolutely. Love those videos coming out whenever he ran onto the pitch.
I could see him warming up last week, Jacob and Ash, and it was like you could see the intensity in his warm up, and you could see even warming up, it was getting the crowd going. So great start. The only thing that worries me is Davis. Are we going to be? Is that our weak link? I think that's the weak link Wolves might try to exploit. But apart from that, it's what we expected.
Yeah, and it's I'm gonna be honest. This doesn't fill me with joy. This doesn't fill me with confidence. Ash, you see this 11. What are your initial thoughts? Do you think we're going to be able to cope? I mean, regardless of the fullbacks, H. Postecoglou said we're going to play the same way. We're not going to change the way we set up just because 2 players are out injured. Now, when we do play this style, these fullbacks are inverting. This is why I believe Dragusin didn't start, is because, yes, he played right back before he came to Juve, but was he an inverted fullback is my main question. Does anyone know the answer to that? Because I certainly don't. I'm not going to act like I knew this man was when he was at Juve anyway. But my assumption is clearly Ainge sees something that this guy can't play that inverted fullback for me. But apparently Ben Davies and Emerson Royale can. Ash, what are your initial thoughts of this?
There's different types of inverted fullbacks. You've got inverted fullbacks that are more they run with it. They run like they kind of dribble with the ball, and that's like your doggy. You get like more like your Trent Alexander-Arnolds or your Poros, and they're more technical. So they kind of play that ball over the top. They can hit it. And then you got another type of inverted fullback, and I call them the controller. So they're not really the controller, but what they do is that they keep the ball ticking over, they keep possession, and they keep it real simple. Now, you get that more with, let's say, Emerson Royale. Emerson Royale, as a footballer, he's not technical where he can get on the ball and he can switch to play or he can do those crosses. He will keep it very simple, very short, give the ball to more of the attacking players and do short passes. He'll do loads of little short passes. You might do a little fake run to take players out of their position. And that's basically his skill set. With Dragusin was more of that player that kind of hits the ball, does those diagonal switches. I wouldn't say he's a player that can like run and cross it like a fullback. He's more of a person that gets the ball and he can carry the ball, because that's one feature I think they were looking at the club when they were scouting him. They needed a player that can take the ball out from the back and carry the ball. He can actually do that. Whether he can do that as an inverted fullback, there's a question mark. I'm not sure, because I haven't seen him as a right back before. I don't know what style of fullback he was at Juve at under 21 level, but that was one of the reasons why they brought him in, or Paratici brought him in at Juventus, because they said we need a fullback that can get the ball and carry it, and that's the reason why he was there. So he must have the skill set, he must have the technical ability. Coming back to today's game, though, I think with Ben Davies, yes, he's not technical in terms of like carrying that ball, like doing what your doggy does, but defensively he's not bad. Like he can block the ball, he can win that ball high up. He does have enough experience to defend. It's just not ideal. I do agree with Demetron. I think out of all those players, they might target, or they will target, our left-hand side. And I do think Neto will operate on that right-hand side, and he'll be up and down and be busy. Equally, so will their wing-backs. I think Nori, he will be extremely busy on that left-hand side. So he will keep Emerson Royale pretty much occupied. But I was impressed of what Romero did in our last game. I like how Romero steps into the midfield and he wins the ball high back, and he's able to split their team open with his passes, his forward passes. And I think that wasn't mentioned a lot against Brighton in our last game. Not a lot of people picked up on that, and I think he will do a tremendous job going into this game, as will Basuma. I think defensively, a lot of people are sleeping on his defensive attributes. So this team will give us different dynamic. I think we'll have a lot more possession as well than Wolves. I know we gave up a lot of possession in the last game, but I feel in this home game, I think we'll have a lot of the ball, and they will try to hit us and hurt us down the sides through counter attacks. And Lamela, I thought, had an exceptional game alongside Gomez. I think they're going to be super competitive. But looking at our team, I just feel like we'll have a lot of possession. It's just how front-footed will we be, and will we capitalize on the chances that we create through that midfield three?
Yeah, very good points there. Now I do have the lineup here for Wolves. Now, if I'm to believe their word order of names, Pedro Neto looks to be on the right hand side, which will be straight through Davies' side. So that to me is going to be an area. I'm going to say an area to watch, and I'm also going to say naturally, even if Pedro Porro was playing, the areas behind him when he inverts and pushes up in the field and it hasn't tracked back yet. That is an area in which teams on the counter, frankly, like to exploit as well. So they have Sarabia and Hwang Hee-chan. I believe they're going to go. Do y'all think Hwang's going to be their number 9? Now, if I'm looking here at SofaScore, they have Pedro Neto as their number 9. And they have Pablo Sarabia and Hwang Hee-chan playing off of him to the left and the right, respectively. But I kind of see this as a fluid situation. I see this Pedro Neto is going to go wherever Pedro Neto wants to go, and I think he's going to find joy wherever he is. To be quite honest,
I agree with you, Jacob. I think Neto plays that free role, doesn't he, where he just goes where he wants to go, and other players just slot in. I think that front three for Wolves is more between him and Hin Chan Hong. I think they're just sort of interchangeable one another more than anything. But look, Wolves is not an easy game. Let's not kid ourselves here. Wolves have the last 5 games, Tottenham have won 3. Wolves have won 2. There hasn't been a draw in the last 5. But Wolves is not easy. They beat us up in their place this season. 2 years ago, they beat us at our place 2-0, quite comfortably as well, if I might add. And I'm very wary of the Wolves game. I was more wary of this game than I was for the Brighton game. And I just think we've got to be
Steady
very
as
careful.
Shark came in with the comment here, Dermot. Are you relieved to know that we do have Mickey Van de Veen to clean up in behind him? So Pedro Neto, while he probably will, and I'm going to say probably, it's almost guaranteed that he's going to find space behind Ben Davies. Because honestly, when Ben Davies came on last week, wasn't really impressed with him pushing up in the attack. Wasn't really impressed with him tracking back and helping on defense. And I think that's what we're going to see today. But are you relieved at all to know that we do have Mickey Van de Veen and Christian Romero, respectively, to help out on those sides?
Well, not really. You go back to the Crystal Palace game. Van de Ven was constantly cleaning up behind Ben Davies, and it's going to be the same today.
But we did win, so there's an argument there to be made.
A win's a win. I know what you're getting at, Jacob, but the point is, we shouldn't have our centre-backs trying to cover our full-backs. They should be competent and not to do their own job and leave the centre-back to do what he does best. We can't have Mickey Van de Ven covering for Ben Davies because he hasn't got the quality to play at left-back. And this is my worry. And if Mickey Van de Ven is trying to cover for Ben Davies, that leaves the gap open in the back. Romero can't be everywhere. Emerson Royal can't be everywhere. So I think that is going to be our weak link down that side. But look, we have to see what happens, how the game pans out. But Ben Davies said that worries me. It really does worry me.
Well, we know that we're going. In my predictions, I didn't predict that we would keep a clean sheet. I know that we will score goals. I know that we will concede goals. But Ash, for you, no excuses, right? This is likely one of our strongest front threes that we can come up with. No excuses, or do you kind of see this as, well, this is going to be a tough battle? For me, we got to go out there and just get more goals than we're gonna allow. Control the ball. The more that we control the ball, the more that we are not allowing them to score. So that's for me the easy formula to get this 3 points here. But how do you see us getting the goals and finally getting the 3 points out of this?
Yeah, the idea is that we pin them in their own half. Yes, there will be times when we leave that kind of wide position at the back open. That's just the way we play because we're trying to defend and press them high up, similar to what Liverpool do in a Gegenpress. And it's down to like the likes of Sarr, the likes of Basuma, and as I said before, Romero actually stepping into midfield to win back those second balls. Now, if we're successful at that you're right, we keep the ball more often than not, and then we can find the likes of a Heung-min Son or even a Maddison at the edge of the box, because when Richarlison was in the box, he was able to lay it off to Maddison. Maddison got a shot off in that first half. I want to see a little bit more of that. And I think also we look super deadly in our transition. There's at times where we're not going to have the ball, 100% of the time. They're going to have a lot of the ball as well. So when they have the ball, that's when we're going to be super adventurous. We're going to hit them on a fast transition. And I think Spurs have scored a lot of our goals when we're counter-attacking. When we see a Heung-min Son running on the outside, fires a ball across the box, and Richarlison's there to finish it, or one of our wingers or one of the midfielders dart into the 6-yard box and they finish it. They're finishing that move off in the far post. So I expect to see similar patterns of play. So yeah, we do frustrate ourselves when we do have a lot of possession and we're not moving that ball around quickly. But if we move the ball fast, we get an early goal, we rattle them, then that's gonna have to draw them out. They're gonna have to come onto us. The more they come onto us, the more space there is behind, and the more of a threat we are, in my opinion. So yeah, we play our game. We focus on us. We don't focus on them. We'll give them a game. However, I do admit they're a very hard-working team. They really are. And I looked at the last game they lost against Brentford away. I looked at Nori. Nori again. He's the one on that left wing as a wing back. He was causing all sorts of trouble. So I expect Nori to be up and down. I do expect Neto to be up and down as well in that free role. But again, we should have more than enough firepower to deal with the Wolves if we get enough goals early and we ask the right type of questions.
Well, I agree with you there, honestly. Look, this isn't going to be an easy match. This isn't going to be an easy win. And I think even some of the past opponents, some Spurs fans thought, oh, well, we should easily take care of this. And as we know, Spurs like to keep things interesting. But look, we are coming up to about the last 15 minutes of the show. So I do want to make sure, hey, those of you that were here last week, you know how I like to run things. I like to get interactive with the chat, at least for the score predictions. So what I need from everybody in the chat right now is to hit me with your score predictions. Now, also tell me who's scoring the goals. There already was an early score prediction that dropped in here from Brian Hill. It says 3-1 Spurs. Go ahead. Talk to me nicely. I like to see that because honestly, we need the 3 points. Dermot, I know you got to shoot. What's your score prediction and your goal scores for me, my friend?
Yeah, sorry, Jack. I've got to go and get my watch along ready. Look, I said it in my pre-match predictions on Dave, so I'm going for 4-0, and I'm sticking to that.
4-0.
Look, I'm known as Prophet Tron. I'm known as the delusional Tron.
Whoa! Wait, hold on. Before you go, wait.
Hang on, just let me finish.
Do that to us.
Before you interrupt the Dermatron, let Dermatron finish. Okay?
Land.
Dermot said I got 4K binoculars, sir.
Show some respect to the Tron. All right, the Tron deserves respect. And that's also from Mrs. Tron as well. But anyway, beside that, but I'm going for 4-0. I'm going for Richie with 1. I'm going for Maddison with 1. I'm going for Mickey van der Ven with 1. And I'm actually going to go for an outsider. I'm actually going to go for an Emerson goal today. I think Emerson might get 1. So, look, that's for me. Look, that's my prediction. Dermatron. The Tron he is known as Prophetron and Delusional Tron. But look, it's all fun, isn't it? I'm going for 4-0, and I'm sticking by that.
Hey, I hope it's true. Main thing there is keeping the clean sheet. I hope if Emerson Royale and Ben Davies are able to help keep us a clean sheet and Udogie and Pedro Porro cannot, serious questions are going to need to be asked. But Dermot, I hope you're right. Have a great watch along, my friend. Great to see you. Yeah. I'm going to run through some of the chat here. I'm just going to
go now before the men in the white coats do take me away. So
they said that's enough screen time, sir. We're going to turn the electronics off now. You got to talk to your friends on the internet.
Yeah, very funny, Jacob. Yeah, I'm nearly at 2K. So guys, if you are
Big
here,
up
please
Dermatron.
get
Yes.
over and hit a subscription. I'm almost to 2K. But look, I enjoy
Yes,
coming
I'm
on.
going to put the link in the chat in just a moment. I'm going to do that while we run through these predictions
big
here.
up to Ben and Sim as well. Everyone, please like and subscribe on the other channels as well. But I enjoy it. Come on, enjoy the game, and come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
On you,
Look,
Spurs.
Ash, I'm going to give you some time to get, because with that latest 4-0, you're going to need to get your thoughts together on how what the score line is going to be. So let's run through some of the chat real quick. We've got Alberto with 3-1, Dan Inwood with a 3-1 Spurs. A lot of 3-1s in the house. We've got Simran Deep Singh with a 3-1 Spurs. Richie 2 goals, Sonny 1. Love to see that. Cantab's got 2-0, Son and Davies. That's already. Hey, Davies getting on the score sheet. Talk to me every single time. Skunkworks got a 3-2. Doesn't know who, but I'm going to say for Tottenham. I'm going to take that one for Tottenham. I love women, says 4-0, Son, Royale, Richie, and Richie. Jamie Furman says, unfortunately, 1-2 Wolves. So there's our first prediction of a loss. Jay Lim's got a 3-1. Machiavelli with a 7-0. Rudy 2 with a 3-2. Richie Werner. And Dragusin, if he's allowed to play. He is allowed to play. They will allow him outside to get some fresh air. Bob Down Under's got 3-1 Spurs. Richie, Son, Brendan Johnson, and Neto. Big Up Lee says, not a score prediction. King Gamers got 3-0 Spurs, Son, Triple Son, Richarlison and Madison. Love to see that. Martin Tuplin's got 3-1 Spurs, Richie Son, Matters. Dr. Johnny with a 3-1. Love to see it. He's going with a 3-2 there, Skunk Works. Joe Buck's got a 2-1 edgy win. Ash, for you, what's the final score prediction? Who do you think score? How are we getting these goals?
Yeah, like Dermatron was spot on with his analysis, so I respected it. And then he kind of just went, forget the analysis. So I was like, wait, you're not going to just do that.
I kind of like it, though. I kind of like it. Reckless abandon. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just got to take it all off and run through the wall. And that's what Dermot does. He says, he sat here this whole show, Ash, he was like, you know, Wolves are going to be a very formidable side, and Ben Davies, and he's definitely going to be he's giving us this analysis like, okay, yeah, I agree. It's going to be a tough one. It's going to be hard for us. And then, so what's your score prediction? 4-0. F them. We're getting it all, baby.
What are we doing?
Hey, I respect it. While I don't agree with him, I respect it. I'm going to be honest.
I respect it as well. I respect it because he just said it.
Ash, are you throwing analysis out the window and saying we're getting something? Yeah, hey, if you could say it with your chest, then by all means, my friend. What do you say?
Look, I don't know. Look, for me, I'm looking at the past game. I'm looking at the game before. We haven't been playing exceptional. I always look at performances, like, because sometimes if you blow a team over, but the scoreline doesn't reflect that, then I'm like, all right, cool. You know, it's coming. If we've been battering teams and it's like, raw, we're just not like smashing them, I'm thinking, all right, cool. One of these teams, they're gonna take them licks. You get it? But like for me, we've been edging wins. Wolves have been unfortunate, in my opinion, not to be getting more W's. They've been playing really well. So it's a lot closer for me. It's a lot closer. So I'm more edging to like a 3-2-2-1 kind of, like a 1-goal in it. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I don't think we'll blow them away. I think it will be techie at times. So I'm going to be decisive. I'm going to stick with a 2-1. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stick with a 2-1. And I think we will be frustrated at times, but it won't be because we're not playing well. I think it's because Wolves are hardworking and Gary O'Neill knows what he's doing. He kind of knows what he's doing. Like, I feel like he gets his team set up in a way to frustrate like the big six. Man United, they struggled. They just about got the win. If it wasn't for that last minute Kobe Mainoo goal, they would have ended up drawing that game. Chelsea, obviously, they suffered 4-2 and they were away. Wolves came away and they got the 4-2. And that's credit to them. Gary O'Neill did a job. Man City, again, 2-1, they lost. Man City tried to go to the Molineux, got their pants pulled down. So they're no joke team.
We tried to go to the Molineux and we tripped over our own shoelaces. So
exactly,
that was quite fun.
So, but we want revenge, and I think that will give us motivation. I think we'll smell blood, and like Son's got a point to prove. He's the captain, and he's going to want to get it over the line for the boys. And I feel like with Ange in their ears, he's not going to be wanting this like 4th place. He's going to want to push a bit further. I feel like that's his ammo. And I think teams that get 4th, they kind of push for that kind of like, they want to be in that title conversations, and then they just miss out, and that's how you get
Ash, are
4th.
you saying live on We Are Tottenham TV in front of 600
Listen,
beautiful viewers right now that
bro,
Tottenham are potentially trying to challenge for a title? Is that what you're telling me?
I'm saying in past 4th, 3rd, whatever, whoever's trying to get for that 3rd, 4th position, if you try to push for 4th, you get 5th.
You're gonna,
That's
yeah,
how it
yeah,
lands.
yeah.
Am I making sense? Am I making
I see what
sense?
you're saying. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So I'm saying Ange's going to be saying to the boys, look, we're only 7 points behind. Put the foot on the neck, put the pressure. Liverpool just won. We need to keep that pressure on. We need to keep that momentum up. I don't care how you do it, as long as you play football. Don't look at the clock. Concentrate on our football. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's what I reckon. I don't know. I could be wrong, but that's how I see it.
Oh my! And you said Liverpool just won. It is 4-1 Liverpool Brentford right now.
They started so slow as well. I was watching that game. They started so slow.
Yeah.
And as soon as Darwin Núñez got that first goal in, the game completely flipped.
I predicted a draw because I wanted to see it, because I felt like if everyone could drop results and then us get something, it makes things a lot more interesting. It makes a little bit more neck and neck. And honestly, this is the time of the year though when quality starts to outshine. I think Manchester City I've been saying it's just a matter of time until they start heating up that oven. Their oven's nice and warm. They're about to start. They're literally going to start cooking. So Liverpool, same thing. They have title aspirations. It is in their technically they almost control their own fate at this juncture. So
you know what? Just before you go to your next point, I was going to say, before we had many injuries, momentum was taken out of our hands after that Chelsea game. I said, if we're going to stink up the place, I'd rather us stink it up now, even if it means, we drop points against Wolves. Like if we've got a draw, whatever. I'd rather that now, because after this, we've got a 2-week break. Now, the injuries happened. Obviously, we're not happy. We lost the Porro, we lost the Doggy, 2 goats in our team, right? Now, when they come back, we're going to be full strength. Do you understand? And it's at the right time. It's the business end. Arsenal haven't had an injury, like a proper injury. Do you know what I mean? To their starting 11 where it affects their team all season, in my opinion. So I feel like if they start picking up injuries there, do you know what I'm saying? And then we start getting strong and we get momentum, and we've got the right fixture list as well before we get into that kind of mad April fixture, in my opinion. If we start cementing like good foundations, good wins going into that April fixture, then I think we will be up for those April. Like Newcastle, we'll be up for it. Like we'll be up for the Man City at home. We'll be up for the Arsenals. Do you know what I mean?
Ash, we are already up for all that. Well, I am personally. I'm literally awake. I woke up at 5:30 a.m. to go ahead and get this thing crack-a-lacking. But look, Ash, we have 5 minutes left in the show. I need your score prediction and your goal scores, my friend.
3-1. 2-1. 2-1. And I'm expecting Neto to get a goal against us.
It's either going to be him or Doherty off the bench. One of them's going to get a goal.
It's an audition, right? Not for Doherty. Doherty's just like,
that's what I'm saying. It's usually players we have some kind of history with or want to have some kind of future with.
Emerson Royale pocketed him. When Doherty come on, Emerson Royale pocketed him on the left side. But yeah, I just think our goal scorer is Son naturally. I think Sonny will get a goal. And Richarlison tends to do well against these lesser sides. So I'm hoping Richie gets the second as well.
I hope so too. Big up Spurs. GCTV's got a 2-0. Going to run through some of these predictions before I give mine, and then we'll kiss the show. I was going to say kiss the show goodnight, but it's actually good morning. And it's in the afternoon there in the UK, so I don't even know why that doesn't make sense. My brain's not working completely, so apologies. Spurs GCTV's got a 2-0. Big up Spurs GCTV. Vanin's got 3-2. 1 Richarlison, 1 Madison, and Lo Celso. Lo Celso off the bench with a goalioso. Like to see that. With the game winner potentially. Hey, might see that. Yanovo's got a 2-1. Emerson Royale, Ben Davies, and Hwang Hee-chan. Gabriel's got 3-2. Spurs, Kazoo. shoot with a 3-2 Tottenham, 4-1. That's a big score. Hey, I've heard a couple 4-1s. 3-0 Spurs. Richie Son matters. Need Madison to get on the score sheet. Would love to see that. Kev G's got a 1-3. Doesn't sound like for Tottenham, but you know what? That is what it is. Big up Philip, 4-1 Spurs, lots of goals, 4-0 Spurs, Sun with all 4. You know, this is the third Sun 4 goals prediction I've seen this week. So, Vicario, game-winning header, says Ruzi. Ooh, that'd be fun.
Vicario.
Metro with the 4-0, young Metro. And look, yes, I will. But here's the link. I put the links for all the people in the chat, but it is very easy. I just dropped the link for mine again, but in blue in the title of this video is the Irish Hotspur, where you can subscribe to Dave Harris. All right, he's got a watch along going on. There's also Spurs Spurs Kings TV. I almost mispronounced it. Had a little rebrand there. Spurs King TV is also in the title, and then my channel is also in the description, or the title of this video rather. And here I did also drop in Dermatron's link for THFC Till I Die. Go subscribe to every single Tottenham Hotspur content creator, because you know what, they put on a lot of work and it's all for free. So really, you could just take advantage of. And you know what? When we win 4-0, everyone can go to Dermatron's channel and tell him you were right. We respect Dermot's crystal ball from now on. Arjun's got a 5-2 Spurs. Love to see that Richie hat trick. Will be interesting to see it. Anth's got a 2-0 Spurs dub. Come on. Is there any way we keep? Well, okay. Actually, we got the show's got to come to an end. But my final question for you is: is there any way we keep a clean sheet, Ash? Anyway.
There is, because as I said before, Davies and Royale are defensive minded first. They're more defensively solid than you'd say, like your doggies and Poro are more attacking minded. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So maybe they might be switched on for the counterattacks. I'm just hoping. I'm just thinking, like, before it happens, if you see the ball coming, you can intercept it. So why not? Van der Veen and Romero, they're still in the starting 11. So we've got every chance.
I think we do have every chance. And look, at the end of the day, this is a mid-table side who are playing very well under a very well-managed side as well. I think this manager, we haven't had a lot of luck again. I would say we haven't performed well versus this manager. He was at Bournemouth last year as well. He was putting something on us. Look, this is going to be a fantastic game. Love the predictions you guys coming in here with. I do appreciate Bennington very much for allowing me the platform up here to come hang out and bring a pre-match show pump up. But look, y'all, that is going to be the show. But I'm going to part you with my score prediction. Now, I was thinking something modest, but something about right when we get 30 minutes before kickoff, it's like Dermatron, you know what I mean? All this beautiful analysis we just did, scrap that, throw it out the window, baby. It's game time. And you know what means when it's game time? It's time to ball out, my friend. So I'm looking for a nice cheeky little 3-1 win. I think we get 3 goals on the day. I think Son's gonna score 2 of them, and maybe Richarlison or Madison with the other one. Maybe Kulusevski can step up and be the winger that we need. We will find out. But I'm going to say 3-1 Spurs. Come on, you Spurs. I mean, come on. We got to go get these 3 points. Keep things interesting, right, Ash?
Yeah, 100%, bro. 100%.
Well, big up, my friend. It's so great to share this platform with you. It's so great to be here in front of all of you who are still here. Make sure you hit a like and you stick around. The boys are going to be kicking off their watch along in just under 15 minutes. So make sure you stick around here on the channel, and we'll see you next time on the pre-match show pump up. My name's Jacob. This is Ash. And come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.